Hello and welcome to HD Calcs. I'm Rick, and in this video we're going to have a look at how we can use trig functions on the Casio fx-CG50 graphing calculator. If you don't have one of these calculators but would like one, check the link in the description below. To do this, we'll use the Shift key that looks like this, located here, the menu key that looks like this, located here, the F1 key that looks like this, located here, the exit key that looks like this, located here, the sine, cos, and tan keys that look like this, located down here, the right bracket key with the shift function of inverse that looks like this, located here, and the S to D or conversion key that looks like this, located here. The first thing we want to do when working with trig functions is make sure our calculator is set to the right mode. These examples will be using degrees. So first, we want to see what our calculator is set to. We can see here at the top of our screen, our calculator says DEG or degrees. That means it's in degrees mode. If we want to change the mode, we can do this by pressing the Shift menu key, bring us to this menu here, and then scroll down until we see angle. Now we can choose degrees, radians, or gradients. This calculator is already set to degrees, but we can select it with the F1 here, and we see DEG. If we wanted to work in radians, we would use rad or F2 here, and see that it changes to rad. Since these examples will be in degrees, we'll select degrees and hit exit to leave the menu there. All right, first let's look at sine, cosine, and tan. If we want to find the sine of 30 degrees, we start by pressing the sine key, entering 30, and hitting the EXE. That gives us 1 over 2. And if we want to convert that to decimals, we hit the S to D key, and see we get 0.5, which is correct. For cosine of 30 degrees, we use the cos key, enter the 30, and hit EXE. And this one gives us the square root of 3 over 2, which we convert to decimals with the S to D key, and get 0.8660, etc., which is correct. And finally, tan, or tangent of 30 degrees, we hit the tan key, enter 30, and hit the EXE, and we get the square root of 3 over 3, which we can convert to decimals and get 0.57735, etc., which is correct. What about cosecant, secant, and cotangent? To do that, we use the inverse of the corresponding function. So for cosecant, we use sine. So if we want to find the cosecant of 30 degrees, we can hit sine 30 to get 1 over 2, and then inverse that with the shift right bracket, and we see we get a result of 2. So the cosecant of 30 degrees is equal to 2. If we want to get this all in one step, we can use the brackets. So we go bracket, sine 30, close our bracket, and then inverse, and that takes us straight to the 2 result. So for secant, we use cos. So if we want to find the secant of 30, we can start our brackets, cos 30, close our brackets, add the inverse, hit EXE, and we see we get 2 times the square root of 3 over 3, which converts to 1.1547, etc., which is correct. And for cotangent, we use tan. So for the cotangent of 30 degrees, we go bracket tan 30, close our bracket, shift, inverse, hit exe, and we see we get the cotangent of 30 is equal to square root of 3, which converts to 1.73205, etc., which is correct. We can also find Arcsin, Arccos, and Arctan on this calculator. This is useful when we want to go from a result backwards and find out how many degrees were used. To do this, we press Shift, Sine, to get this, sine to the -1, which, be aware, is different from the inverse sine we had before. This is arcsine, and now we go arcsine of 0.5 equals 30. So from 0.5, we get 30 degrees, which is correct. For arccos of 0.8660, we can go shift cos 0.8660, and we see we get what rounds to 30 degrees. For tan, again, we can use the shift tan and then the 0.5774, execute, and again, we get what would round to 30 degrees. These are rounded numbers, but if we want to get exact numbers, we can use the square root of 3 over 3. So again, we can go shift tan bracket square root of 3 divided by 3, close our bracket, hit exe, and see we get the result of 30 degrees, which is correct. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope this has been helpful. If it has, you can help me out by hitting that like button and subscribe for more calculator tips in the future. And, as always, good luck on those tests out there, everybody. You've got this.